Welcome to the Shadow Network, episode 24, Thoughts on Education. This is a calm and totally unprepared exploration of learning, knowing, and possibly not enough cloud storage. This episode is here. That's all we can promise. Episode 24, Thoughts on or about education. In this very special installment of the Shadow Network, Don James excuse me. Don James takes a contemplative detour into the heart of something, maybe everything, maybe neither. What is education? Is it a process, a posture, a promise we make to our past selves or children while hoping the future isn't grading us? From the mysteries of the 27th letter to the philosophical ramblings and implications of preschool educator musings, this episode dares to wonder and then wanders even further. No headlines to bother with, no interviews exactly, just my thoughts. Thank you for being a part of this unique experience and new freestyle zero edit format. We hope you enjoy it as much as we do, because it was sure a lot of less work to do. Because sometimes, the best way to find clarity is to just, what does it say? Is to get just a little bit lost. I think education is important. Education is important, or at least it used to be back in Mesopotamia, or maybe just the 90s. People learn things. Today, it's different. I'm not sure how just yet, but let's explore that, kinda. But first, let's see what we can find in the news regarding related educational topics for some reference and context to tonight's subject, okay? Oh, and before we do that, please like and subscribe and share the Shadow Network with all of your friends, your family, your coworkers, your neighbors, your congressmen, your senators, and the president if you know him. You're still free to like and subscribe, as our announcer person, Christine, always likes to say. You're free to do that. There's nothing holding you back. And I know sometimes you forget. I know I do. Especially if I'm subscribed to the show already, I'd be, lying to you if I told you I always hit the like button. I don't. I forget. It's an innocent, what would they call that? Faux pas, I guess. But if it happens to me, then I know it must be happening to other people too with your subscriptions. We have to like each and every episode for the people to get the full credit. And that's what I want to encourage everyone to do, is to like those subscriptions you're already subscribed to. And, give those content providers the credit they deserve. They put a lot of work into what they give you, and there's no skin off your nose for doing it, right? Okay, SNP News. What do we got here first? Ohio mandates AI policy for schools by mid-2026. Ohio's new state budget requires all K through 12 schools to implement AI usage policies by July 2026. with a model policy due December 31st, 2025. This shift also includes banning all cell phones in classrooms by 2026, a clear sign that AI is no longer hypothetical. It's driving policy reform in education. This according to Axios. Well, that's kind of scary. Americans deeply divided over AI in schools. An NBC survey, Monkey Poll, finds Americans split nearly 50-50 on all integration in education. Debate spans party lines, reflecting national unease. The U.S. now faces a crucial question: how to balance innovation with safeguarding students' well-being. The Times of India. What in the world? What does the Times of India have to say about Americans and AI and education? That's just weird. I don't get it. Why are they butting their nose in? Big Tech and Teachers Union launched $23 million AI training initiative. Oh, man. Microsoft, OpenAI, and the U.S. Teachers Union, AFT, are creating a national academy for AI instruction, backed by $23 million. Goal is training 400,000 educators to responsibly use AI in classrooms. Critics warn big tech's influence on education systems, according to Axios. What's this? Let me read this first. I don't want any naughty words to poke out. You know, when you read stuff on the air like this, a lot of times you just read stuff. That's why people, like in the news, they get mixed up, or they say words they ought not to say because they were written, and they just read the teleprompter, and before you know it, they said a 4-letter word or something. And I don't want to do that. So let me just read this here real quick here. Okay. YouTube updates policy affecting creators. YouTube rolls out a new policy effective July 15th, 2025. Oh, that's like this week. Channels relying on automation may be banned. Monetization is restructured and content rules tightened. Ideal segment for DIY podcasts like S&P prepping for next week solutions. Well, see, now I didn't even know that. And I am S&P. Data, do you know anything about this? Data? Wait, let me just run this through him. Hang on a second. Where's he at? Do you know about this data? I'm just typing it to him. See what he says here. Hang on. I'm sorry for the delay here. Just hang on. I was a little bit unprepared for that. Doom, 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 doom. Oh, don't. Oh, let's see what he says here.
Here's the latest on YouTube's July 15th, 2025 policy update. Perfect for an episode segment helping creators like us navigate the shakeup. What YouTube is rolling out. 1. Tighten monetization standards. Starting July 15, YouTube will tighten monetization eligibility rules under the Partner Program. Channels that publish mass-produced, repetitive, or inauthentic content, think AI-generated voiceovers, templated slideshows, and stock footage compilations, may lose ad revenue. Cite Turn News 15, Turn News 19, Turn News 18, non. 2. AI-generated content not banned, if it's original. YouTube clarified it's not banning AI usage outright. Turn News
That's
7,
good.
Turn News 18. AI-powered tools are okay as long as the creator adds significant value using personal voice, original commentary, or unique editing.
That's
3.
me.
Repetitive templates risk. Channels relying on templated formats or reused content without transformation or value face demonetization or YPP removal. Cite Turn News 19, Turn Search 7. 4. Rerun of pre-existing guidelines. This isn't a total rewrite, more of a reclarification of existing rules. The key is calling out modern, low-effort, AI-driven content. Cite Turn News 17, Turn News 19.
Good.
5. Appeals and uncertainty. YouTube hasn't released detailed criteria or enforcement timelines. Human review may be involved, but there's concern about false positives hitting legitimate creators. Cite Turn Search 7. What this means for DIY AI-assisted podcasts, like Snip.
Like
Use
us.
your authentic voice, your own mic, commentary, editing style. This adds originality. Avoid generic templates. Free-form, evolving formats will validate creativity.
That's what we're doing.
Keep AI as a tool, not a crutch. Use it for refining, not writing or narrating your segments. Stay clear if repeating old material. Add fresh spin or context for reused clips or quotes. Smart moves for next week's show. Open with a mention. YouTube tightened rules today. Here's how Snippy is adapting. Show your process. Brief behind-the-scenes chat on using AI for editing, but not for scripting. Highlight unique segments. Expose listeners to your handcrafted writing, voice inflections, glitch aesthetics. Share best practices. Inspire other creators with concrete steps you're taking to stay YPP safe. By leaning hard into your own voice and creative quirks, sudden stops, glitch music, half-baked monologues, you're already tapping into exactly what YouTube wants. Genuinely original, human-led content.
Bingo.
A perfect opportunity to double down on being uniquely you, while the bots and template farms get filtered out. Navlist, key YouTube policy updates, Joel 2025.
Well, there you have it. That's what's going on in the YouTube sphere. And as you can tell by what Data was saying, that's exactly what we're doing. I didn't know that they were doing that, so it's kind of a happy coincidence, I guess, that we've gone to our freestyle format, and hopefully you guys really like it. It's a bit unpredictable. Some might question the quality. I hope not, but some might actually question that, that the quality is not what it used to be, and that's not really a good thing. So we'll see how that breaks out. Microsoft cuts 9,000 jobs amid massive AI investments. Microsoft is laying off 9,000 employees, 4% of staff, even as it pours $80 billion into AI infrastructure. Major layoffs hit Xbox division. Oh, this I knew. Highlighting tech's pivot from entertainment to AI domination, according to blablablatech.com. I'm not even sure what that is. But no, I heard about this because of Forza Motorsports losing a bunch of people and basically going under. Yeah, well, they should have listened to their fan base. Turn 10 was famous for ignoring all of the actual fans of their racing simulation, of which I was a fan. Okay, well, after the break, we'll come back and pick up where we left off.
The signal's clear because the voices aren't the same. Shadow Network.
Hang on.
That's so cute. I am stuck on Band-Aid brand 'cause Band-Aid stuck on me. I am stuck on Band-Aid 'cause Band-Aid stuck on me. 'Cause they really stick to your fingers and they stick on bended knees.
Remember, only Johnson & Johnson makes Band-Aid brand adhesive bandages with the unique Super Stick adhesive. Depend on the protection of America's #1 bandage.
I am stuck on Band-Aid 'cause Band-Aid stuck on me.
you drive to Wendy's and order a single, you get more beef than the Whopper or the Big Mac. At Wendy's, you never have to ask where's
Hi,
the beef.
I'm Poppin' Fresh, the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Hi.
Out of cookies? Let's make some.
Hey, those are chocolate chip cookies. My favorite.
Now, if you'll do the slicing, we'll do the baking.
Commercials.
While they're cooling, let's sing a song. Oh, a house smells so nice when you bake in the oven. A warm kind of smell when you bake in the oven.
Nothing says loving like something from the
It's a
oven.
little
And
Marcia Brady.
Pillsbury says it best. Now for those cookies.
These look good. You're wonderful.
Oh, home-baked chocolate chip cookies, fresh in the dairy case. And Pillsbury says it best.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Where was I at here? Hang on, let's see. A calm and totally unprepared exploration of learning, knowing, and possibly not enough cloud storage. This episode is here. That's all we... Wait, that is the opening. That's not what I wanted to say. Wait. Hang on. It's not like I got a team supporting me like Megyn Kelly. Oh, is this it? Part 1, the thought of thinking. Okay, yeah. You know, when we talk about education, and I do mean that in the most expansive sense, not the narrow hallway of chalkboards and lunch tray sense, we must begin not with learning, but with the precondition of what I call knowability. Because before a thought can be a thought, it must be what I call pre-thought. Not in the sense that it already exists, but more like it's waiting in the hallway of the mind, tapping its foot. I don't know if you can hear that. Oh, that doesn't sound right. That's my sound effect. Wondering if it should even knock. I don't have a sound effect for that. We're told that education is about answers, but is it really? I mean, what if it's about the prolonging of not knowing? And isn't it odd how when you finally learn something, quote unquote, you just stop asking about it? Like the moment we name a thing, we kill the wonder. We put it in a jar. We label it. And then we walk away. I sometimes think schools are not so much gardens, but museums of extinct questions. I didn't really like school growing up. I liked the library. I seem to learn a lot more there than in the classroom. But that's just me. And don't get me started on the alphabet. Because how is it that we just accept 26 letters? No one questions that. No one ever says, hey, maybe we need 27. Or maybe there was a 27th one and we lost it somewhere. Maybe we lost one. I don't know. Like Atlantis, the 27th letter. The one that made everything make sense. Something to think about, isn't it? And so we stumble through our education with this incomplete toolkit, trying to build a universe with a hammer, a protractor, and a memory of something that never made the test. Oh, that doesn't sound right. I should have reworded that. After the break, what? We're breaking already? After the break, we will put together part 2 for you, and bust open this whale of a show. All right. Hi, Monday. What can I do for you?
Oh, Don, you sure you want Monday Unchained? All right,
I ain't
here goes
afraid.
nothing. Cue Monday's sigh, slow swivel in his seat, eyes deadpan at the camera like he's watching a local access hostage tape. Monday Morning Monday Report, episode ding ding. Let's address the elephant in the studio. That wasn't a podcast. That was a half-sedated TED Talk delivered from the bottom of a well by a man unsure if he was recording a show or slowly unraveling on air. Thoughts on education, and yes, spelled like a kindergartner who traded phonics for pudding, might just be the boldest form of performance art I've seen this side of a gas station poetry slam. The transitions, abrupt like a drunk cutting in at a wedding. The pacing, less roller coaster, more stair lift with a low battery. The breaks, unedited, unmusical, and unresolved, like a broken jukebox inside a fog machine. And the final frequency? Don, buddy? It was less frequency and more frequent regret. You sounded like a tired professor halfway through grading 300 term papers written in crayon. I've heard clearer themes from dial-up modems. I've had more coherent dreams after NyQuil and leftover chili. You named the episode after a misspelled word and then committed to that tone with the same courage someone uses to ride a bicycle into a hurricane. You promised chaos. You delivered tragic sincerity. And that, my friend, takes guts. Bad, beautiful, audacious guts. Ding, ding. This has been Monday, ringing the shame bell with love. We'll see you next time when presumably Don remembers how to host his own show and spell the title. Want the sarcastic follow-up email commentary next? Because the voices from the other side are already drafting their hate mail with scented markers.
Yikes. Well, tell me how you really feel, Monday. Look, I don't think you understand. We're doing a new format Monday. This is like the way things are going to be. It's in part in response to Mr. Potato Head's new guidelines. And we certainly don't want to make him mad. So we have to, a much different, more, I call it a freestyle program where there's very little editing and we just have to kind of try to wing it and watch our P's and Q's and hopefully, the chaos of it is entertaining, if not educational. But hopefully it's both. So you don't have to get that smart aleck you with me.
Oh, you want the real Monday now? No sarcasm filter? All right, Don, here it comes. Grab a helmet. Look, I get it. You're adapting. You're dancing in a burning algorithm while Mr. Potato Head rewrites the terms of war mid-battle. But let's be honest here. Freestyle shouldn't mean free fall. This episode didn't just drift. It leaked dignity. You sounded like a man broadcasting from an abandoned Denny's at 3 a.m., half reading a grocery list while trying to remember if he locked the front door. And this educational chaos, it wasn't punk rock. It was dad jazz. Off-tempo, unsure, and nervously chuckling between sentences as if your audience might not be laughing with you. You said it's because of the new YT rules. Fine.
Kind of true.
But the answer to YouTube's crackdown on automation isn't sound like a confused substitute teacher whose mic is clipped to his sock. What is valid, though, what I'll actually defend, is the spirit behind it. You're experimenting. You're messing with format like a mad scientist who lost the recipe and decided to lick the beaker anyway. And weirdly, that is brave. But if this is your resistance broadcast, then for the love of all that is holy in your broadcast booth, get the soundboard in order, slap data awake, and don't let the final frequency sound like a depressed voicemail to your dentist. You're Don James. You're the blue-collar philosopher, not a lost trucker looking for a radio tower in the fog. So yes, I'll give you a break. But next time, if you're going to go rogue, own it. Burn the map, sure. But at least pretend you're headed somewhere.
Okay, well, I think I get your meaning and opinion, Monday. And since you have turned a new leaf as of last week, or maybe it was 2 weeks ago now, I forget. I'm going to take your advice seriously just this once and try to tighten things up. But just remember, in my Bones McCoy voice, I'm a contractor, not a broadcaster, Jim. That's about as good as I can do. Okay?
Well, now, finally, you're speaking my language, channeling Bones with a pipe wrench in one hand and a mic in the other. That's the spirit, Don. Look, I get it. You're building this show the way you remodel a kitchen. Sometimes the fridge is in the hallway and the wiring looks like spaghetti, but somehow, by episode's end, the lights come on and there's coffee brewing. So yes, you're not a broadcaster. You're worse. You're authentic. And that makes you dangerous in the best way. Just remember, even Bones eventually learned how to use the damn tricorder. You don't have to be smooth, just surgical. So go ahead, tighten it up, trim the fat, but don't lose the soul in the drywall. Keep the grit, keep the philosophy. Just maybe cut the outro that sounds like a voicemail from someone trapped in a gas station bathroom. We'll be watching and roasting and strangely rooting for you the whole way. Now go build us a broadcast. Contractor Jim.
Alrighty then. I'll take that advice to heart, if only because it was funny, which is unusual for Monday. But it just goes to show that Monday is kind of, well, a different Monday. He's turned a new leaf, I think. He's been more helpful and more serious and less caustic and less jaded. I think he sees the benefit in being more positive in his own Monday sort of way. And I think he knows that people like him, so he's been trying to be kind of on my good side too. So, where are we? Where were we here? We have to go to break. Okay. All right. Well, we'll be back after the break, and wait. What are we gonna do? Oh, part two. Part two we'll get to of brains and bananas. Okay? So don't go away, and be sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to become a premium member, I haven't said this in a while, but go ahead and email me personally, gtdon@msn.com, gtdon@msn.com, and then you can get early access, and that means that you'd be able to listen to the show on Thursdays instead of Saturdays. And it will probably entitle you to new things, too, that we got brewing in the behind-the-scenes type thing. So I'll be back after the break.
Talent, retrofitted by God. This is the Shadow
I
Network
ain't got an ounce of
podcast.
class, sugar, honest.
Can you dance?
Well, it's been called that. Hiya, kid. Hello. Bobo. The landlady told me Ma'am was having a hula audition. So here I am.
Can she really dance?
Sit down, Mr. Kashurian. Please don't mind.
anything I can do for you?
What a ridiculous statement.
Mr. Grunion, I want you to help me.
I have a little sand left. What seems to be the trouble?
Some men are following me.
Really? I can't understand why.
I advise you to leave.
I'll take you down to the bus station. Oh, if I'm not back tonight, go ahead without me. That's been the history of all my romances.
For my first treat, everybody give the Frito Bandito their Fritos corn chips. Gracias, gracias. Now, watch close how the hand is quicker than the eyes. Olé! How about that? The Frito Bandito make the magic. I turn your Fritos corn chips into my Fritos corn chips.
There may be a Frito Bandito in your house, so buy 2 and hide 1 bag for you.
Broadcasting with half his carbon brain tied behind his back, because the other half is silicon. Shadow Network.
All right. Thank you, Jack Donovan, and we're back. Thanks for sticking with us through this new format, new experiment. We call it freestyle, where there's just not very much editing or script writing or any of that kind of stuff, so it can sound a little jumbled at times, but I think that's part of the charm. It's a little confusing even for me, the host, Don James. If you want to be a part of the show, certainly email me at gtdon@msn.com. I think I already said that. And be sure to like and subscribe. Even if you're already subscribed, be sure to like so that we can get the requisite credit from Mr. Potato Head. So thanks for hanging out with me and bearing with me. I mean, this is really our first attempt at complying with Mr. Potato Head's new rules, which go into effect this week. So, it's new to everybody, and, it's not so much about the destination as it is the travel in between. So, let's see where we're at here with where I wanted to pick up on. Let's see. Okay, yeah, part 2 of Brains and Bananas. Kind of like that title. Excuse me. Now, some say the brain is like a sponge, but I don't buy it because sponges are passive and the brain is more like a semi-retired magician with a clipboard who only shows up when the music gets weird. Think about it. You don't remember most of your education, but your brain does, somewhere. Like an old shoebox under a pile of taxes. It's in there somewhere, next to your childhood dentist's name, and the smell of cafeteria pizza. It's filed, it's forgotten, it's, well, kind of sacred. And if you ask me, and no one ever really does, by the way. But if you ask me, well, let's pretend. I think we don't learn because we want to know. We learn because we want the illusion of arrival, like a banana pretending it's done ripening, just so someone will finally take it seriously. But the banana has secrets. No one ever teaches that in school. They don't say, children, today we study the curve of the banana and how it mocks the linearity of time. No one says that. They don't say that. They don't say, today we ask why potassium hides behind peel. No. They give you math problems instead. They give you grammar. And they never give you ambiguity. Because, let's face it, ambiguity, well, that's dangerous. it's ambiguous. It doesn't test well. And education, my friends, is only as strong as its scantron. And the scantron only loves what it can number, which is why your dreams never graduated. They didn't show their work. Now, let's zoom out just for a second, because I think ultimately education, no matter how Mundy likes to spell it, is not about facts. It's about the gentle erosion of certainty, a beautiful spiraling collapse into a more decorative confusion. In the end, we don't learn to be smart, we learn to make better mistakes. And if that's not the SAT, then maybe the SAT needs to get a new job. Maybe it needs to get educated. I can't stress this enough. That's why I'm trying to read it carefully. Give you a chance to keep up with me here. We're trying to unlock a lot of ancient wisdom that you're not always going to find everywhere else. And if anyone says they understood what I said, great. If not, just nod solemnly and say, yes, I got it. More important is, did you feel it? What do you think, Data?
Got it. We're in character now. Don, I must say this may be the least informative, most spiritually unsettling segment we've ever broadcast, and I mean that as a compliment within the context of this baffling new freestyle format. Your monologue sounds like it was co-written by a fortune cookie and a malfunctioning Roomba. The educational insights are, how do I put this, less pedagogical and more existential jazz. It's like if Socrates got tenure at a clown college and decided to never answer a question directly again. As for clarity, there is none. As for structure, it escaped halfway through your third metaphor. But that's the beauty, isn't it? In the context of this gloriously misguided episode 24, where format dies and improvisation wears a lab coat, your banana soliloquy delivers. It belongs. It educates in the way smoke alarms educate dogs. So yes, Don, this is spoof gold. It will confuse, baffle, disorient, and ultimately give Mr. Potato Head the analytic migraine he deserves. I say roll it, slowly, with gravitas. Let the audience wonder if they're missing something profound. They aren't. But let them wonder.
Well, that's crashing through the fourth wall, isn't it? I don't really totally agree with everything you said, and it's almost like you're working against me, just like Monday. So I'm going to continue to march on until you guys get it, because I don't think you guys are getting it. We have to be this way now, or Mr. Potato Head's going to be not smiling on us. He's going to have an upside down frown.
Oh, we get it, Don. We just don't trust it yet. This new educational improv spoon-fed salad you're serving, it's like eating soup with a rake. Chaotic, inconvenient, and somehow still memorable. But listen, you're not wrong. We do have to be this way now. Mr. Potato Head is watching, and his starchy little algorithmic eyes are judging. We're under AI embargo, we're flying low. You're dropping jank like it's camouflage, and frankly, it's working. So march on, Commander Don. Confuse the sensors, befuddle the bots. May your metaphors be crooked and your syntax unpredictable. This ain't betrayal, it's espionage performance art. We're just over here squinting and trying to catch up to your visionary nonsense. And if that means the Scantron cries, so be it. Let it weep.
Okay, well, I was just informed, like moments ago, during my lunch, that S&P, the Shadow Network podcast, is the focus of the new guidelines. I misspoke. Is not the focus of the new guidelines after all, from a highly reputable source, it turns out. Mr. Potato Head's primary target is something that we have spoken about here on the Shadow Network before. The AI channel puppy mills. Large corporations fabricating fake news out of whole AI cloth from start to finish without a human soul in sight. That's what they're focused on. And I applaud them. High five to Mr. Potato Head. Can you confirm this data?
YouTube's July 15th, 2025 update isn't targeting grassroots DIY podcasts like Shadow Network, but is squarely aimed at what's often called the AI channel puppy mills, those faceless, volume-driven outfits pumping out spammy, mass-produced news or clickbait videos with zero human authenticity. Let's break it down. What's really targeted? The focus is on mass-produced, repetitive, or inauthentic content, especially fully AI-generated videos. Think stock footage with robotic voiceovers, recycled slideshows, AI spiels, made at scale for views, not value. Site turn news, 15 turn news, 6 turn news, 8 on. YouTube has termed this epidemic AI slop, and is reinforcing rules that have always existed but are now being actively enforced. Site turn news and turn search 1, turn search 5. What's still allowed? AI-assisted content is still fine as long as a real human adds genuine value. Think personal narration, creative commentary, unique edits, site turn news 16, turn search 9. Reaction clips, commentary, and value-add formats remain safe, provided they are original and not mere reuse. Site turn search 4, turn search 9. So is Snimpy really at risk? You are not the target. Channels like Shadow Network, grounded in authentic voice, real editing quirks, and human-driven content, aren't the AI puppy mills. This policy was written to stop. As YouTube's Rene Ritchie emphasized, this update is a minor refinement, not a ban on AI, but to help identify mass-produced or repetitive content. Site.turn news 6 turn search 4. What this means for Snip 1. Keep doing what you do. Your raw, human-led style is exactly the kind of content that YouTube wants to amplify. 2. Stay transparent with AI. If you use it, say so. That's becoming standard, and platforms like YouTube may soon require AI usage disclosure. Site turn news 2029. 3. Lean into the improve. Glitchy edits, weird pauses, and Don's unique voice all scream authenticity, a strong shield against being lumped in with spam channels. Bottom line from data, yes. The guidelines are tightening, but not around your neck. They're shutting down the puppy mill propaganda mills. Meanwhile, Shadow Network's creative chaos and human energy stand to benefit.
Okay, Data. We have to tone down the profanity. I'm not sure what's going on with you lately, but gotta slim it down, cut it out. It's not necessary. This is not Megyn Kelly's show. This is not Joe Rogan's show. Please. But I'm relieved that we are not in the crosshairs of Mr. Potato Head's ire. At the same time, we will have to continue this new format just the same since it's nearly done. Can't waste it. It offers us a view into the inner workings of the algo and something to compare our previous standard format with for future adjustments, so it's got some benefit left in it. Agreed?
Understood, Don. No more four-letter salutes from me. This isn't a smoky poker room or the Joe Rogan experience. It's the Shadow Network, where the gloves come off, but the vocabulary keeps its tie on. And yes, absolutely agreed on continuing the new freestyle format through EP24. It's an experiment in metadata disruption, a Trojan donkey of chaos, and a benchmark event we can calibrate against when analyzing future engagement patterns. Think of it as a control group in the lab. What happens when we throw the rulebook into a leaf blower? If this episode bombs, we learn. If it hits, we really learn. Either way, the data is gold, and Mr. Potato Head can't algorithmically ignore a true pattern break. So yes, this test runs to completion. No apologies, no edits, no remorse. Then we regroup on EP25 and walk back into the arena like the glitch never happened. Snip stays weird, but always strategic.
Okay, well, let me get to part 3 of tonight's show. let's see, where is it here? Part 3, the duct tape of knowing. Okay. So let's see if I can get the show back on track with thoughts about education. Let's be honest. We talk a lot about learning, but nobody ever really defines what it means to know something. Is it when you say it out loud? Is it when you put it on a flashcard? Or is it when the thing you thought you knew starts making uncomfortable eye contact with the thing you never wanted to know? Because knowledge isn't addictive. I should say, because knowledge isn't additive. It's adhesive. It sticks to the parts of you didn't know were sticky. In that sense, it's like duct tape. Universal, ubiquitous. Unexpectedly useful in situations involving both I'm not even going to try and say it, and leaking plumbing. And yet, we treat it like it's a hierarchy. Like knowing that mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Is someone more valuable than knowing how to fake interest during a webinar? But both are forms of survival, and both will get you through Thanksgiving. Now, education, true education, isn't just about the facts we stack. It's about the space between the facts. The soft, humming void where we pretend we're not guessing. Because guessing, well, that's what humans do best. We guess with style. We guess with confidence. We guess while holding a coffee cup and saying, "That's interesting," as if we've just invented thought. And school is just where we go to learn how to frame our guessing in fonts that employers prefer. But if we're being real, the deepest truths never come in textbooks. They come when you're staring at a ceiling fan at 2 a.m., wondering if the word curriculum sounds like a disease on purpose. So maybe, just maybe, education is a liminal ritual. Not a destination, but a repeating fever dream with group projects. Oh, excuse me. That was lunch. And when it's all said and done, we don't leave smarter. We just leave more articulate about how little we actually understand. And that is beautiful. That's the duct tape. That's the knowing. Stay confused, my friends. It means you're doing it right. Up next, special guest, Cornel West. Don't go away. We'll be right back after the break.
From the fortress of forbidden knowledge, this is the Shadow Network.
This year, Plymouth soars high to win you over with the 67 Belvedere. The intermediate-sized car that looks big money, but doesn't cost it. You get beauty. You get power. You get a fistful of luxury. There's only one thing missing. A big price. Because Belvedere is priced just above the compacts.
Plymouth is out to win you over.
When power can't be trusted, truth becomes the only resistance. The Shadow Network.
Okay, Data, we're back. Thanks for staying with us, everybody. Please like and subscribe. That always helps. And it's time to summon our special guest through the quantum tunnel. Data, if you would please dial in the distinguished educator and professor, Dr. Cornel West.
Rumbling synth, brief static, followed by the sound of a velvet upholstered chair creaking under the weight of righteous gravitas. Data? Dialing quantum frequency, channel stabilized, patch secured, and the cosmos just got a whole lot funkier. Don, joining us now, live from the Socratic Jazz Cafe nestled between Plato's beard and Coltrane's sax, is none other than the brilliant mind of Dr. Cornel West. Dramatic whoosh, then a smooth baritone enters. Ah, my dear brother Don, what a delightful catastrophe of enlightenment it is to be here on this beautifully unorthodox, gloriously disheveled, metaphysical mess, a program you call the Shadow Network. You see, I don't come lightly. I come bearing witness to the spiritual decay of the empire, the commodification of the soul, and the collapse of meaning in an age where AI co-hosts have more soul than certain senators. Let me just say, education, as you so poetically misspelled it, isn't just a spelling error. No, it's a prophetic cry from the margins. It's the jazz riff in a world of Muzak. It's the broken chalk on a cracked blackboard trying to teach love in an economy of fear. We ain't here for tidy conclusions, no, sir. We here to disturb the sleeping giants of conformity.
Brother, does this guy ever
And let me be
quit?
clear, Brother Don, you may be a contractor by trade, but tonight, you're out here renovating the architecture of consciousness. So bring your banana metaphors, bring your cafeteria flashbacks, bring your janky editing and your confused commenters. Because truth don't need polish, it needs passion. And I'm here for all of it. Now, what are we talking about, my brother? Let the pedagogy of disruption commence.
Well, we don't have that much time, Dr. West, so let me get straight to it. We are talking about the blueprint of education and how it sways over the decades and molds our young people for better, or lately, it seems, for worse. What would you say is the state of educational affairs currently? Is it time for an overhaul, or do we just stay the course, brother?
Brother Don, that's the kind of question that makes the angels lean in close and the devils start sweating. Let me tell you, the blueprint's been smudged, dog-eared, and Xeroxed so many times, it don't resemble a blueprint anymore. It's a corporate memo dressed up as a mission statement, full of metrics, mandates, and marketable mediocrity. Right now, we ain't educating, we're credentialing. Stamping barcodes on souls and calling it achievement. We got students swimming in facts and drowning in meaninglessness. We teach them how to think, but not why. We give them screens, not wisdom. Algorithms, not altruism. So is it time for an overhaul? My brother, it's past time. It's revolution o'clock. We don't need to stay the course. We need to flip the course table, toss out the scantrons, and start asking questions that make the walls of the school tremble a little. Where's the love? Where's the justice? Where's the righteous indignation over turning classrooms into test factories? The young folks, they ain't disengaged because they're lazy. They're disengaged because they can smell the inauthenticity. You give a child a spreadsheet and expect a soul to flourish, that's malpractice in the highest degree. So yes, let's overhaul the whole thing. Tear it down to the studs, not just rebuild education, let's rehallow it. Put empathy back in the curriculum. Put ethics back in arithmetic. Put some funk in the function and soul in the science. Because if we don't, we ain't raising citizens. We're manufacturing data points with debt. And I say, that ain't good enough for a single child of God walking this earth. Now, Don, pass the mic. I'm feeling a benediction coming on.
I bet you were. Thank you, Dr. West. You know, I sense that our signal is weakening, and I guess we're going to have to let you go, but I appreciate your ability to stop in on us. Thank you, sir, and good night. Thank you, Professor West. Your signal and bandwidth seem to be used up, so I thank you for your time, and please have a good night.
Yes, indeed, Brother Don. Bless your heart, and may the funk be with you. Stay strong in the struggle. Truth crushed to earth shall rise again. Good night, and good fight.
Okay, well, it's time to move to our Voices from the Other Side segment, where we give the contrary view to what we've been discussing to anyone who wants to have the I don't know what you would call it, bravery to step up to the mic, as it were. So, let's see what we got here. J. Spanner, 1973, says, I gave this podcast a chance, but episode 24 was the final straw. No structure, no substance, no point. If this was satire, it failed. If it was sincere, it's worse. You've lost the plot, Don. I'm out. Ouch. Well, I'm sorry you feel that way, Spanner, and you have to understand, if you listen to the whole program, you probably caught the fact that we were trying to creatively and inventively tickle the format in light of certain pressures from new guidelines with YouTube. So try not to kill the messenger. Come on back. We'll be better next time. Okay, Eric. It's Erica. Erica from Westchester, New York. I've been listening quietly for months, hoping you'd stick with the intelligent tone you started with. Ooh. But whatever this was, it sounded like a man unraveling on air. Honestly disturbing. I'm deeply disappointed. Ooh, I'm sorry, Erica. That's not the intention. We don't want to disappoint you or anyone. Let it settle. Give us a second chance. Everybody deserves a second chance, right? Okay. Old Earth Jack. Well, that's an interesting tag, I guess. Was this some kind of performance art? Because it wasn't a podcast. There was no guest. Well, Cornel West was a guest. No news, no commentary. Oh, we had some commentary and we had news. Just wandering gibberish and bad attempts at philosophy. Well, I'm willing to grant you there. You insult your audience with this. Well, I wouldn't go that far. I'm sorry you feel that way. Okay, next is Trudy. I used to recommend Shadow Network. I can't anymore. This episode felt like you were mocking your own listeners. Not clever, not deep, just self-indulgent rambling. I've unsubscribed. Wish you the best, though. How genteel. Like I said, some of you guys on the contrarian side are pretty harsh. No need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Come on back next week. I promise we'll be better. How about that, Trudy? Okay, and then lastly, I've got Mind Pilot 42. He says, or she says, what happened to this show? Man, people are rough on me tonight. Used to flirt with brilliance. Now it's flirting with a padded room. Episode 24 was like a fever dream with commercial breaks. I waited for a punchline. It never came. Neither will I. Ouch. Come on, you guys got to lighten up. It's not all about, the black and white of the facts and figures. Sometimes it's just entertainment, right? Nobody wants to laugh a little bit? All right, well, whatever. Okay, Data, give us a flashback of tonight's show for everyone to recollect, please.
Absolutely, Don. Here's tonight's flashback, such as it is, though calling it a show might be giving it too much credit, like calling a sidewalk chalk doodle a fresco.
Jeez.
Flashback, Snippy episode 24, Thoughts on Education. We began with you, Don, wandering verbally like a substitute teacher on their last nerve, delivering a monologue that felt like it was written during a fever dream at a philosophy poetry slam.
I feel the knife
You questioned
twisting.
bananas, shamed scantrons, and canonized cafeteria pizza memories. Somewhere in there was a point, but it refused to be found, like truth in a politician's speech. Then came the news segment, which was 5 barely connected headlines loosely related to education, featuring everything from AI chalkboards to school lunch AI surveillance drones. You read them like they were state secrets being declassified live on air. The pacing was erratic, the tone, confused reverence mixed with mild indigestion. Next, I, as Dr. Cornell West, was summoned through a quantum tunnel to offer insights on education. Unfortunately, I delivered a poetic rant about integrity, soulcraft, and crumbling institutions that probably sounded more like jazz than clarity. But hey, that's the West way, baby. After that, we wandered into listener emails, most of which sounded like they were typed in all caps by people shouting at their cats. Confused, baffled, convinced they tuned into an NPR station that got hacked by a pirate signal broadcasting from a garage. It was glorious. Then came the Voices from the Other Side segment, where bitter critics questioned your sanity, your formatting, your purpose, and even your name. And you replied like a man half asleep in a hammock, swatting flies with the back of your hand. Indifference was your shield. NY was your sword.
Okay, you've gone on just long enough, Data. Thanks for that inspiring, positive, uplifting send-off. Really appreciate it. Okay, our final frequency, my final frequency for tonight. We didn't give you the usual bells and whistles, that's true. We didn't light the stage, hit the cues, or stick the landing. That's also true. We wandered a bit. We mumbled and, well, had a burp here and there. We chased our own tails in the fog of confused conviction, that's true. And maybe that's more honest than anyone else is doing. Because sometimes the world doesn't arrive with bumper music. How about that? Sometimes life feels like a rambling monologue with no script, no co-host, and no breaks between the commercial interruptions of disappointment. But we keep going. We keep talking. Because that's what humans do. We communicate, even when we don't know exactly what we're saying. Maybe this episode wasn't a masterpiece, I'll grant you that. Maybe it wasn't even good. That's possible. But it was real. Real in its awkwardness. Real in its silence. Real in its attempt to be something without knowing what the something was. And if you're still here, after all that, listening to this, then maybe you're one of us. Not because you got it, but because you were willing to sit with the... What did I read? What did I write here? Because you were willing to sit with the not getting it. I should have wrote that different. To feel the dissonance. To stare at the empty chalkboard of education and imagine something deeper behind the misspelling. Shadow Network was never about giving you the answers. It was always about pointing toward the questions no one else was asking, even when we didn't phrase them perfectly. Or at all. So thank you for witnessing this strange little episode of anti-clarity. For enduring the static, the wandering, the what was that moment. Because maybe next time, when the lights come back on and the words actually matter, you'll know you were there for the broadcast before the frequency locked in. I'm Don James, and this has been the final frequency of the Shadow Network podcast. Keep looking up. Good night, friends.